So a few weeks ago, I bought the most expensive electric dirt bike that I could find. It was kind of hard to come by, and it cost me 12,000 bucks to get it. But it wasn't just any dirt bike. It was a KTM dirt bike. And now that I own a KTM dirt bike, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Oh, it's awful. It's so bad. So do I do all the normal things that normal KTM cult followers do? Did I sell all my possessions to give to this church of KTM just to get more KTM? Yeah, I did. Do I now sleep under a bridge? If you call that sleeping. And do I spend most of all my free time going door to door telling people about KTM and how they saved me from my sins? And do I drink tons and tons of Red Bull? You know, I'm just living a normal KTM cult follower's life. So they keep on telling us that electric vehicles are the future, but I mean, are they really? Because electric motorcycles have been around since the late 1800s, but were outperformed in every way by their gasoline counterparts. And because the gasoline motorcycles won the public approval, they just became better and better every single passing year, achieving things that were previously thought to be completely impossible. And now we're being told that this is going to replace this. And I'm just not sold on it yet.
Bro, he's got 2 KTMs on his shop? That is awesome!
Now we all know that for this bike to be the future, it's gotta be fast. Everything in the future has to be fast. Because if it's not, it's gotta be faster. If it's not fast, then why don't we just stay in the past? So by popular demand, we're gonna race this bike against our slightly modified, cheapest electric dirt bike ever, the Gary bike. So it wasn't a really good fair comparison. I mean, his bike was made by, you know, the Gary company. It's a lot cheaper. Now the KTM was, I believe what I read was, forged by Thor himself with his hammer. I'm pretty sure I read that correctly.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's what I heard too.
So to put the electric KTM in a more real world comparison, we decided to run it against the everyday grocery getter. Well, that's not really a fair comparison. It's a dirt bike. Well, it's not just any dirt bike, it's a KTM dirt bike. But according to the pricing structure, it must be their flagship dirt bike. So we're gonna race it against the legendary, well, it's legendary for KTM people, 300 two-stroke. And appropriately, we will do it off-road, which is where this bike belongs. The electric KTM was easy to launch and very consistent, where the two-stroke needed to be tamed and required a little more skill, like what Craig has. And as we raced over and over and over again, the two-stroke proved to be the faster bike. The electric bike was also topping out in this short strip, where the two-stroke still had 2 gears left.
Now, actually, we started reading more about this, and it's not really comparable to the 300 or the 250. Some people are saying it's actually more comparable to a 125. So we have the greatest 125 ever, 1989 KX 125 to test it out with. Let's see how it goes.
The two-stroke team brought us their best, but the 32-year-old Suzuki, with all its wisdom, was still no match for the electric bike of the future. Until we started doing rolling starts, and then it actually looked pretty close. The e-bike did great in the trails. It was a little tough getting used to no rear foot brake, but never stalling and always having plenty of power was nice. And the lack of top speed was not really an issue for this type of riding. We were not sure how long the battery was going to last, and at one point we got lost with one bar left, but we ended up making it back. One full charge of trail riding lasted us just under 2 hours. That included some stops for rest and, of course, other things. Now, I don't get to ride in the dirt as much as I would like to, so I'm not going to say that I'm an expert in this, but I really enjoyed it. Maybe even more than my gas dirt bike.
You see me get that huge air?
But there's still one big question that we're all asking about this electric dirt bike.
So I think we all have the same question in mind. How deep of water can it go in? Now, if you're riding a dirt bike, it's gonna get submerged. That stuff just kind of happens. I'm told that this thing can go completely underwater. Let's find out. Yo, Craig, come here and get me turning this thing on. The rope binding up on the tire. I love this is better. Stop, you're binding. I can't hold it. It's going to be rope burn. It's still going. You impressed yet?
I'm impressed.
Is that the cliff right there?
Yeah.
I think I'm stuck. That stuff was this deep of muck. It's still running though. Switch it out. What do you think? You impressed? I don't know. It still runs. So it might not be as fast as we thought it was going to be. It was still pretty quick. It was also kind of expensive, which is normal. I mean, most new things are going to be, on the expensive side, so the prices will go down. But is it the future? And my answer to that is, I guess it probably is. But, Now, I do think it was cool. And I think it was a lot of fun. I think it did a great job on the trails. But I kind of, of course I wish it was a little bit faster, but I also wish that I could get into the computer system and kind of make my own tunes, and I can change the regen and I can change the throttle response and just tweak all that stuff. Like any, high-tech thing, you should be able to do that. Even the Harley Davidson Livewire, you were able to change all those settings. I can't do anything with this as far as I know. And here's the other big problem. You cannot expect millions of motorcycle riders out there and just decades of riding and decades of motorcycles for everyone to just switch easily. The fact that this is now not the clutch and this is the rear brake and this is there's nothing there. That's a big change. Trust me, it's a huge change for people who've already been riding motorcycles, and to go from this to switch to any other motorcycle, it could potentially be dangerous because you're just grabbing the wrong thing, you're grabbing the wrong brake. So I think that's kind of strange. I don't really like that about that. And if it's such a big battery inside here, which is a pretty big battery, why can't I charge my cell phone, or why can't I use this to power my house? Right? That's a pretty good question. The truth is, though, battery technology is changing every single day. It's getting better and better. So who knows, in a couple of years, this thing might take 5 minutes to charge, and it might last for an entire week of riding. We have no idea. But as of right now, this is what we get. Now, I will admit that since owning this bike, I do appreciate KTM a little bit more. But not enough to keep the stickers on my truck. Not enough to wear these ugly shoes. Not enough to continue drinking Red Bull, which is horrible stuff. Not enough to keep on wearing the underwear. Although, I'm sure the ladies like it. And I think I will eventually regret the tattoo. But
I am gonna keep this awesome bag because it's so cool looking. Tell me what you guys think about this bike. Throw it in the comments. We'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe.